that is the real taqwa of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Start by saying بعد أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم يا أيها الذين آمنوا كتب عليكم الصيام كما كتب على الذين من قبلكم لعلكم تتقون. O you who believe, fasting has been prescribed upon you as it has been prescribed among those who were before you, so you are be righteous. So that is what we are heading into. And inshallah, next week, inshallah, it will be the beginning of this month, the month that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala singled out among the whole year with this ibadah, with this obligation, this pillar of Islam, that is nothing like it. كل ابن عمل ابن آدم له إلا الصوم فهو لي وأنا أجزي به. All the deeds of the son of Adam are his except fasting. It is mine and I will reward accordingly to it. Also Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said in the Quran بعد أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم شهر رمضان الذي أنزل فيه القرآن هدى للناس وبينات من الهدى والفرقان فمن شهد منكم الشهر فليصم ومن كان مريضا أو على سفر فعدة من أيام أخر يريد الله بكم اليسر ولا يريد بكم العسر ولتكملوا العدة ولتكبروا الله على ما هداكم ولعلكم تشكرون. الله أكبر. It says, roughly translating, that the month of Ramadan, during which the Quran was revealed for humans and also as guidance and as distinction between true and false. He who lives to be during this month, let him fast. Those who have excuses like being traveling or sick or unable, they can make up in different days at different time. And it says, يريد الله بكم اليسر ولا يريد بكم العسر. Allah does not want to overburden you. Allah wants to give you al-yusr, easeship and ability, and fast the whole duration of the month. And remember Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala by saying Allahu Akbar. Allahu Akbar for his guidance. Allahu Akbar for Allah blessing us to live to this month of Ramadan. And inshallah Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will give all of us the ability to reach Ramadan, the ability to fast Ramadan, and more important, may Allah accept from every one of us what we do during the month of Ramadan. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in the ayah told us that we need to do certain things in Ramadan. The Prophet ﷺ was known to be during the month of Ramadan أجود بالخير من الريح المرسلة, that he was so generous in doing all good deeds, and that includes generosity, giving sadaqah, even nice words and interactions with people. It is really part of our ibadah during the month of Ramadan. The least of the ibadah in the month of Ramadan is the fasting, but everything else is what makes fasting intact, makes fasting a comprehensive ibadah and pillar of Islam, is everything else that comes with the fasting. And for that, it's such a grave task, such a big task, that we all need to prepare for it. Yeah, we have a few days to get ourselves in gear and be ready لصيام هذا الشهر الفضيل. And every believer, when they want to get ready for something, they do two things. They make the dua to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and then they take the materialistic steps of being ready. So the dua, and the most common dua that we all need, اللهم يا رب بلغنا رمضان وإذا بلغتنا رمضان فأعنا على صيامه وإذا أعنتنا على صيامه فاقبله منا واجزنا به على الوجه الذي يرضيك عنا. Oh Allah, let us live until we reach Ramadan. And oh Allah, if you write it for us to reach the month of Ramadan, give us the ability to fast it. And Allah, After you give us the ability to fast the month of Ramadan, accept it from us and reward us accordingly, Ya Rabbil Alameen. For us to be fasting and be in the mentality for fasting, our insides, our hearts need to be pure, need to be clear. We need to get out of it all the dunya things. If I have disagreements, for example, with a brother or a sister or family or a distant or anybody on any dunya matter, any matter of this life, I need to clear that before the month of Ramadan. If I haven't talked to my brother or sister for a while, I need to reach out and call them, apologize for them for not giving them their due uh, right upon me of calling them and checking on them. The same thing if I have a monetary disagreement with somebody, let me try to settle it down before the month of Ramadan. Let me have any illness or negative feeling about any other Muslim or other person around me before I start fasting. That is one thing. It's like a prerequisite because you want your fasting to be very clear, very pure. So it needs to come from a heart that has been cleansed and purified from anything that is negative. And of course, that's not impossible to do, but it's not easy. So when the month of Ramadan comes and anything negative comes my way or comes in my face, I need to listen to what the Prophet ﷺ, إذا كان يوم صوم أحدكم فلا يرفث ولا يفسق فإن سابه أحد أو شاجره أو كما قال صلى الله عليه وسلم فليقل اللهم إني صائم. And this is the example of our Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, that he said, when one of you is fasting, let him abstain from any negative or useless talk. And if somebody approaches him with such a talk, let him respond to them by I am fasting. And the implied meaning here that because I am fasting, I'm not going to respond to anything that is negative. That is how Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala instructed His Messenger sallallahu alaihi wasallam to instruct us to do during the days of Ramadan. Also, embodying all the good manners and that we have as Muslims and as humans, and those being truthful, being helpful, cooperating with others, helping in doing good, trying to give advice on not doing negative things. We need to embody all those good manners and traits during our fasting. Because if we do that, and believe me, brothers and sisters, if we practice that for a whole month, most likely than not, we will be able to do it the rest of the year after Ramadan. So this is a good school for us to train on being al-muttaqeen, being ibadullah al-salihin, being the ones that doing good or saying right words becomes a nature of them, inshallah. Of course, during the month of Ramadan, and one of the benefits of fasting is that it makes us think about the ones who don't have what we have. You think about the ones that don't have food to eat to break their fast. You think about the ones that are more severe, that they are fasting, but not by choice or because it is Ramadan. They're fasting because they don't have the food to eat. Think about those. Think about the person next to you who might be going through a hardship or needing some help. And do what Prophet Muhammad did, that he gave everyone. He gave everyone who's in need. He gave everyone that came and asked him for help. So that is one thing that we need to do. The best, of course, of good deeds is adwamuha wa in qal, that the sadaqah al-jariyah, this charity that you give, that will continue during Ramadan. It will continue after Ramadan. It will continue after we pass away, and it will keep giving fruits and hasanat and good deed until the day of judgment. This is what we need to aim to, and what we need to be doing is trying to, inshallah, aim to doing as many sadaqat as we are able, and try to target the sadaqah al-jariyah, things that will continue repeating and happening. And the examples of those are really very good, enabling us enabling a needy person to be able to produce money on their own, uh, helping a needy person attain a working skill or a college degree or education, and putting sadaqah in a masjid that helps propagate Islam and make da'wah for Islam. That's another thing. Muslim school, anything that will happen over and over is good. Also in this masjid, I mean, we have a sadaqah jariyah that we do, inshallah, the cemetery for the Muslim community here. And we need people to help us get that cemetery ready. And remember, every time somebody uses the cemetery, uh, it might be a sadaqah jariyah for those. It is a sadaqah jariyah, inshallah, for all those who help make this happen and make it available for Muslims. Uh, inshallah, brothers and sisters, Allah will bless us to get to Ramadan and fast Ramadan. And I want to touch on the basis that Ramadan this year comes during different times. They are different, but yet they are the same. Fasting is fasting. The Prophet ﷺ fasted when he had few people around him, and then he fasted when he had a lot of people around him. And he was himself during all those situations. And every one of us is that way. We fast because we fast for Allah. Allah is there. The obligation is there. The fasting does not need to be in congregation. Each one of us will fast, is obligated to fast, and inshallah Allah will bless each one of us for carrying this pillar of Islam. What is different is the social side of Ramadan, and that's two things. One of them is good, that it disappears, and that is the unneedy overspending and the wastefulness of food and the things that we do as part of our customs and traditions, that let us do a big gather, a huge gather, let's invite everybody, let's this, let's that. Those things, it's a good thing that they're not happening this year, or we're not going to be able to do that. But other things like iftar at the masjid, when we do the community breaking of fast at the masjid, salat al-tarawih at the masjid, those things that are dear to our hearts, and we miss them as Muslims. And brothers, inshallah, let's not miss the word of those things, even if we miss them. And I'm saying that the gathering, instead of it being physical gathering, let's try to provide breakfast for as many needy people as we can instead of coming to the community meeting. We know the needy people around us in our community. Let's gift them the beginning of fast supplies. Let's get a food box and send it, leave it anonymously in front of somebody's doorstep. So they open the door and they will have the smile on their faces when they know that Allah sent them sustenance, send them food for the month of Ramadan. Please do something like that, brothers and sisters. If you need help getting it done, inshallah, the masjid will help you doing that. As far as Salat al-Tarawih, inshallah, first of all, I want to remind everyone, Salat al-Tarawih is not an obligation. It's a nafil, it's a tatawwa. The Prophet ﷺ, when he prayed it, he only done it for 2 nights. And the third night, when the Muslims waited for him in the masjid, he ﷺ didn't come out. And then they asked him that he ﷺ said, خشيت أن تكتب عليكم أن تفرض عليكم. So he said, I was afraid if I continue that I'll become an obligatory salah. So he ﷺ didn't pray it until after that, until he passed away. And then Umar ibn Khattab was the one that resurrected this sunnah, and it's been in our ummah since Umar ibn Khattab brought it back. May Allah bless him. And you see, this is the kind of sadaqah jariyah, when Umar ibn Khattab remembered this sunnah of the Prophet ﷺ, and he brought it back. Imagine how many good deeds Umar ibn Khattab got from that. So inshallah, every one of us can do that. You have your family. And many of us get distracted by being at the masjid all the time, and that they never pray Jama'ah in their houses with their own family. So get your wife, get your children, and pray Jama'ah at the house. Pray Isha, and then do Taraweeh. As far as us reciting the Quran, during the Taraweeh. Brothers, Hafiz, the ones that memorize the Quran that we have every year. We're going to have, inshallah, Brother Abdul Muhaymin, Brother Aqil, Brother Asad, myself, and other brothers that have good recitation. And inshallah, every night during the month of Ramadan, starting the night before Ramadan, inshallah, we will be reciting a full juzu with some khatiras during it. So we learn, not just listen to the Quran. So we understand what we've been reciting. And with all of that, inshallah, we will be asking everyone who's tuning in to the Taraweeh broadcast to pray at their house with their own family uh, and then listen to the recitation. And I want to just remind everyone we're not asking brothers to follow the Imam at the masjid. We want you to follow the recitation, and then in between the recitation, we're going to have sometimes few minutes here and there, 2 minutes or 3 minutes for every one of us at home to sit up, stand up, and pray 2 rak'ahs with their family, and then we come back and continue the recitation and have the khatra until, inshallah, uh, we finish the juz' that we do every day, inshallah. Uh, this is to avoid making somebody by accident following the imam at the masjid while they are sitting at their house. There is no notion, there is no opinion that allow that among the scholars, and we're not gonna do that, inshallah. We will strictly do the recitation and ask everyone at their houses to take a couple minutes, do 2 rak'ahs with their family, with a short surah, with whatever they know from the Quran, then come back and we do the recitation until we finish the juz', inshallah. This year we adopted the resolution that was made last year, and it's reconfirmed this year about starting Ramadan using the method of calculation. Therefore, the masjid here, in, I mean, agreeing with that resolution, Ramadan, inshallah, will start next Friday, the 24th of April, and therefore the Taraweeh prayer, the first one, will be Thursday night after Isha. Now, as far as the schedule for the recitation and all of that, from the Thursday night until May 10th, we will start the live broadcast for the recitation of the Quran at 9:30, and then from the 11th so this is the announcement, inshallah, from the masjid about that the 24th of April will be the first day of Ramadan. The recitation of the Quran and the live broadcast of it will start Thursday night, the 23rd at 9:30 from the masjid. And inshallah, we will send the link for the live feed to everyone that we have their access, their contacts, whether it is email or phone numbers. And also we will post it on the masjid social media, inshallah, so we'll get everyone covered. Also, during the month of Ramadan, for the families that have children, we will also have a virtual youth program coming from the masjid during the same time that we do in the live broadcast for the Quran recitation. And the program for the youth is going to be consistent with that of the masjid, that there will be recitation of the Quran, there will be small khatiras appropriate for the youth age, plus there will be some other fun activities for the youth and to keep them entertained. I just want to answer a couple questions that were given to me from some members of the community. And one of them saying why Burlington Masjid is not doing as many khatiras or postings on the social media for dars and for lectures or for anything like other masjids around us. And the simple reason is whenever you get a hadith that asks you to do something, it is iqamat al-hujjah upon everyone that reads that hadith. And subhanallah, There is so many messages that flooding social media, flooding their websites, flooding the messages with so many things, good du'as. All of it is good. And we chose to give room to people to implement some of that in their lives rather than flooding them with more. But inshallah, during the month of Ramadan, the policy of the masjid will be one dars, small lecture, will be broadcasted during the day and then recorded on the masjid YouTube channel for future reference. And during the recitation of the Quran, there will be tafsir and short khataras that are included in that broadcast. The other question is somebody asked me, are we not helping Muslim families? Are we just helping non-Muslim families? And that the answer is that we are helping anyone who have a need and we know of it. It doesn't matter if they are Muslims or non-Muslims. The Prophet ﷺ, when he gave assistance, when he gave sadaqat, he gave it to the needy. And he didn't question any one of them before he did if they were Muslims or not. Of course, we are missing many people who are in need. And for this, I ask every one of our brothers and sisters, if you know about anyone that have a need, please let us know about them if you can't fulfill their need. And we promise you that we will handle the delivery of the assistance to any family with the most respect, with the most dignified way, without embarrassing, mentioning any names or embarrassing anybody that they are in need. But brothers, and I say this to also to the families and brothers that have needs, don't shy and not contact the masjid. Please contact the masjid. That's why all the time we're making the numbers for the masjid available. It is for the brothers and sisters, for anyone who have a need. Send a small text message. Say, I need this and that. And I promise you, brothers and sisters, as Muslims, we will fulfill it if we are able to. Once again, the number for the masjid is the 919-998-9078. And the other number for the masjid is the one for the clinic, and that is 336-350-1642. And inshallah, I mean, with those two numbers, we've been able for the past few weeks to help few hundred needy families with a lot of supplies, a lot of foods. But also, brothers and sisters, the month of Ramadan is coming. If you have other needs, if you need clothing, if you need furniture, if you need anything, Allah, we will fulfill that and we'll help everyone, inshallah, cover their needs, inshallah. And inshallah, we will end up by making dua to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, because He's the one that gave us the promise. وَقَالَ رَبُّكُمْ ادْعُونِي أَسْتَجِبْ لَكُمْ. Allah said, ask me and I shall give you and I shall respond to you. اللهم يا ربي إنا ندعوك فاستجب لنا. اللهم يا ربي إنا نسألك في هذا اليوم أن لا تدع لنا هما إلا فرجته ولا ذنبا إلا غفرته ولا حاجة لنا هي لك رضا إلا قضيتها. اللهم يا ربي إنا نسألك أن تجعل الحياة زيادة لنا في كل خير والموت راحة لنا من كل شر. اللهم يا ربي بلغنا رمضان. اللهم يا ربي بلغنا رمضان. اللهم يا رب بلغنا رمضان. اللهم يا رب إذا بلغتنا رمضان نسألك يا رب أن تعيننا على صيامه وقيامه. اللهم يا رب إنا نسألك أن تعيننا على صيامه وقيامه يا رب على الوجه الذي يرضيك عنا يا الله. اللهم يا رب ألف بين قلوبنا واهدنا سبلنا وتب علينا إنك أنت التواب الرحيم. اللهم يا رب إنك عفو كريم تحب العفو فاعف عنا. اللهم يا رب آت نفوسنا تقواها وزكها أنت خير من زكاها أنت وليها ومولاها يا رب العالمين. اللهم يا رب إنا نسألك من خير ما سألك منه حبيبك وعبدك محمد صلى الله عليه وسلم ونعوذ بك من شر ما استعاذ بك منه. اللهم يا رب إنك عفو كريم تحب العفو فاعف عنا. اللهم يا رب آتنا في الدنيا حسنة وفي الآخرة حسنة وقنا عذاب. اللهم يا رب اشف مرضى المسلمين واقض الدين عن المدينين. اللهم يا رب العالمين صل على محمد عبدك ورسولك وعلى آله وصحبه وسلم تسليما كثيرا. عباد الله، إن الله يأمر بالعدل والإحسان وإيتاء ذي القربى وينهى عن الفحشاء والمنكر والبغي يعظكم لعلكم تذكرون. Inshallah, brothers, wherever you are, uh, after the finish of this broadcast, do your iqamah. If you have make wudu, do iqamah and pray dhuhr. If you can do jama'ah with the people around you, brothers, please do so. جزاكم الله خير. سبحان ربك رب العزة عما يصفون وسلام على المرسلين والحمد لله رب العالمين. السلام عليكم.